What's up YouTube, it's Phanta, and back in 2013 or 2014, I was already making content under the name Critic Kid Official. Go check out the channel, it's still up. But even though the videos were, in my opinion, low quality, they were still getting some type of views, I really don't know how. And some friends saw it, and after a lot of begging and a lot of discussing, we decided to change my channel into a group channel. Instead of Critic Kid Official, it would be the Society of Critics. It was supposed to be me and 4 friends, with each of us covering our own niche of video games. And look, if you know this channel, you already know what I was going to cover. I was going to cover RPGs and fighting games, but that fell through. Nah, let me be honest, it didn't fall through, it didn't even go past an initial discussion. I changed the name of my channel to Society of Critics for about a week, and after nobody followed up and nobody took any initiative or texted me back, I just changed it right back and just continued on. Sometimes after that, they'd come up to me and be like, hey, are we still doing the group channel? I'd say yes, I'd humor them, but in reality, I never took any of it serious. They didn't have any drive. That was years and years ago, but even to this very day, I still find myself thinking, what if we did follow through with it? What if we really created that group of like-minded creatives who all push each other and work together towards one common goal? Well, luckily we don't have to wonder, because there was a visionary out there who thought the same way decades before I did. I'm sure you guessed it based on the title. It's not this person. This is Nanase Okawa, who serves as the head writer for the all-female manga group Clamp. As far as I was able to find, she was not the founder of the group. In fact, in the beginning, she was more like an outsider. She was one of the last additions to the original Clamp. Okawa would say in an interview, everyone except for me went to high school together. In the beginning, they made doujinshi. But before long, wait. You probably don't know what doujinshi is, do you? That is a whole can of worms that needs easily an hour video all on its own. Let me know if you want to see it. Basically, the only thing you need to know is doujinshi is anything a fan makes based on an existing work. Think fan art, fan fiction, things like that. Now Clamp specifically were making fan manga, doujins. They would meet at these doujin events frequently, make these manga and share them. In the beginning, Clamp started out as a mind-boggling 11-person group. Wow, that had to be chaos. In the various interviews I've read, none of the core members complained about it that much, so I guess it wasn't that big of a deal, but I may have missed something. Drop a comment if you have some extra information. They went on like this for a while, but eventually in 1987, the group decided to stop with the fan manga and begin creating their own works. They rented an apartment for all of them to share. They were serious. At first, they began by self-publishing their debut manga, RG Veda. I don't have any numbers on RG from this time, but it must have been at least a minor success because a magazine named Wings asked the group to work for them. And look, I know that's not one of the common manga magazine names you always hear, but you probably heard of the manga in there by the name of, wow, I feel like a pure casual right now. I consider myself like a light shoujo fan, but outside of a couple works Clamp would publish with them, I'd never heard of any of these manga. Anyways, getting back on topic, I already spoiled it, but yes, Clamp did end up submitting a work to them and it was rejected. Amusingly, Okawa would go on to say everything was bad about the work. Even with that crushing rejection, they were offered a second chance by Wings and they submitted RG Veda. Again, don't have any concrete numbers really, but we can assume it was at least a moderate success as RG Veda got an OVA in 1991. At the same time as Clamp began to rise and really put their foot through that mainstream door, they began to lose members left, right, and center. By the time RG Veda was officially published by Wings, they went down from 11 to 7, and by 1993, they were only 4, the number they would remain at to this day. Clamp would go on to become not only the most successful female manga group ever, but one of the most successful manga groups in general, spawning generational works like Holic, my personal favorite, Magic Knight Rayearth, and Chobits, but their 2 biggest financial successes would be Cardcaptor Sakura, and surprisingly, Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle. It's so easy to look at success after success and accolade after accolade, but what makes this group so successful in the first place? And how have they remained so successful for so long? They're still together to this day. Nanase Okawa sort of acts like a director slash head writer slash a lot of other things. When they begin a project, Okawa sketches out the outline of the story and initial character designs for the characters. In a panel at Anime Expo 2006, Okawa states, "Each story is written with the ending predetermined." Once Okawa finishes with the initial outline, the group gets together and discusses the story, making sure all the members understand the tone, the themes, and the characters that'll be present. Once everybody's familiar with it, they'd set out making an initial draft to turn into their editor to get approved. And of course, once they get approved, they're off to the races. They don't have assistants, colorers, backgrounders, anything. They do everything in-house. Throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, their output was simply legendary. There pretty much was not a single moment throughout the entire 90s and 2000s where they weren't making at least 2 or 3 manga at the same time. And since the last point I'm talking about, let's dwell on it for a second. I don't know how these geniuses did it. Not only did they write 2 stories at the same time with conflicting tones, concurrently, as in probably a couple hours throughout the day, they'd write Holic. And in case you're not familiar with it, the best comparison for Holic is probably something like Monogatari, which if you know what Monogatari is, that's a crazy comparison. And at the same time, a couple hours after that, they'd write Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle, which still has that Clamp style to it, but it's more of a traditional shonen action thing. But not only did they write these 2 stories concurrently, but these 2 stories are directly linked together. Not like one character from Tsubasa comes into Holic. No, like events that happen in Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle directly affect Holic, as in it changes the whole course of the story based on what happens in Tsubasa. That's like an American comics kind of way of writing manga, but I love it. And honestly, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. So that's the story of Clamp. This video wasn't supposed to be super exhaustive or super detailed. There's videos like that on YouTube already, and I highly recommend you watch them. I just wanted to introduce people to Clamp who maybe aren't familiar with them. If you think anime and manga are a little bit dry right now, go ahead and look up Clamp. In fact, look up Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle and just start reading. And that's also going to do it for this video today. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Click on the notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Make sure to check the community chat. Vote on the polls, man. Vote on the polls. In fact, if you're watching this video as it's premiering, I just dropped a poll in the community tab. Go check right now and go vote on it so you can get to decide on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Phanta. I'm out.